Hi there, my name is Kronenberg and welcome to my channel. This is a film review of Bats. It's a horror, came out in 2021, it's an 18 plus, duration is an hour and 23 minutes, Amazon is a 2.5 out of 5, IMDb is 2.2 out of 10. Amazon synopsis is completely different to what the film is, so read the IMDb one. Following a nuclear power plant meltdown, a nearby village known as Nosferatu Village becomes radiated and subsequently abandoned for more than a decade. The year is 1984 and the public are now permitted to return, and a small group combats the family home to discover a radiated bat living in their attic. So the director is Scott Jeffrey, who directed Hatched, and if you're curious what Hatched is, I have reviewed it, so you can watch that one. It's about dinosaurs. And Rebecca Matthews also directed Hatched. The producer is the same too, Scott Jeffries, who produced Alien Abduction, and Rebecca, who produced The Gardener. Music was by Greg Birkumshaw, Birkumshaw, who did the music for It Came From Below. We have the cast, I've only picked the main ones. We have Megan Purvis, who was Jamie King. Well, we'll just call her Jamie because no one called themselves the surnames, who was also in Hatched. Georgia Conlan, Conlan, who was Amelia, and she was in Repeat. Amanda-Jade Tyler, who was Lisa, who was in Hatched. Ricardo Freitas, who was Rick, was in The Great Charade. And Kate Sanderson, who was Georgia, and she was in, I forgot to write it down, Jurassic Island. It's known as Bats the Awakening, as well as just Bats. So in IMDb it's called Bats the Awakening. So it starts off with some sort of movement, noises, staircase, black and white walls like a Tudor kind of house. Something pounding on a door, and then three people just sort of open the door. Music's kind of ominous. Now, I don't read the synopsises before I watch the film, to watch the film blank, as it were. It's a good thing I didn't bother, because Amazon was completely off the mark. But I didn't know it was set in the 80s. So the three are in a house that was, I say, partly of nuclear contamination. They had to explain this, and they're watching that. And then music kicks in, because they have a record, and I'm like, this is like 80s music, so it's kind of slow moving. I kept thinking of The Cult, but it's not. I think more like The Cure, that kind of style. And I was like, it's all 80s music throughout the film, and yeah, that's because it's set in the 80s. I saw the first killing. It was a bit tame, third death was okay, but nothing much. And then we have our main character looking out of a window, who's Megan, playing Jamie. Mum and Grandma are there. So Mum was Amanda-Jade Tyler, who was Lisa, and Grandma was Kate, who was playing Georgie. And they're talking about Matty not being there for 3 weeks. Now, I've no idea who Matty is. They didn't say who he was. I was assuming it was the boyfriend. And I was like, who the hell's Matty? And then they just set off to the house where the three people broke in. And then credits kick in 15 minutes later. It's so rare. Normally you have credits at the beginning, or at least about a couple of minutes, but not 15 minutes into the film. And I'm like, it's 80s style, electronic style rock, like and it's like guitar and stuff like that. It was, because I was listening to headphones, it was great for my eardrums. So the two sisters in the garden chatting. So that's Megan and Georgia, who's Jamie King, and Megan Purvis and Georgia Conlan, who are Jamie and Amelia. So they're chatting in the garden, right? And Megan sort of looks forward and says, "What's that?" And then the other one looks, and then she says, "Let's go," but I've no idea what. They literally just cut to something else, like to a house. I thought, wait, what am I supposed to be seeing? Have they missed something? Have they cut a bit out? Save a bit of money? And then a bit later on, we find out it's a church. Right, so that's what it would have been nice to maybe, put that in. When you're watching the film, it'd be nice if it was actually the bit that they see. 10 minutes later, same thing. They're in this church, right? The exact same one. Megan turns around and says, "Hey, what's that?" Looks forward at a curtain and walks forward. And then we cut to the next scene. I was like, what the hell are they seeing? Am I seeing not stuff? And they did this a bit before with at the beginning when the people were dying. They were looking forward and scared, but of course I couldn't see anything because they didn't cut to the other bit. Someone trips. Happens in every horror film. Granted, it wasn't outside for once. Nobody running. But it happened, I was always waiting for it. It's like, come on, somebody's got to trip over. Has to happen in a horror film. Someone has to trip over. Leave me, that usual rubbish. And no one ever does leave them. I wish they would. So, obviously the film's called Bats. And one of the sisters has picked up a bat, a baseball bat. And I thought, that's quite funny. Is it supposed to be a bat for a bat film? I thought it was quite comical. Only thing that was. Although I must admit there was a death. Was pretty intense. It was the old school special effects. It was very, very good. I'm not going to say who it was or how it happened or anything, but you just watched it like, whoa, I like that. That was good. I mean, you can tell. You can tell, but I mean, they're not going to really use a human person, are they, for God's sakes? But, nowadays people would use CGI, but I don't like CGI. I like special effects, the old-fashioned stuff, where you make a model and you have whatever it is do to it. So the Megan Purvis, Jesus, her acting was crap. The other sister was so much better, Georgia. And she went for an Oscar in a crying and losing it scene. She was fantastic. She was like crying, "Oh God, I can't go any further." And she was like looking at somebody, I'm not going to say who it was not looking too healthy. And really going for it and crying and screaming. But this didn't just last for a couple of seconds or a minute. No, it went on and on and on. And even then when they got downstairs, she then cut back to her crying and weeping. And I thought, my God, this is pretty good. Give her an Oscar. Why was she top billing? So, when you're fighting a monster and then it bites all your fingers off. We've seen it in so many films where they bite all the whole fingers off because you're obviously trying to stop it, and then you put your hand into its mouth and it chops your fingers off. Surely there should be some blood spurts, maybe a bit of red, anything. There was nothing. It was just like, it's like, okay, where's the blood? There was no blood. No blood at all. And then she picked up this samurai sword. I thought, what the hell? In a church. And I thought, what's a samurai sword doing in a church? But they found this samurai sword. Now remember, of course, this place had been abandoned for like 10 years. So, who left the samurai sword there? In the 70s? It's just, what? Oh, and there's no dust. But it's just like, but she could grip it quite well with her hand, even though she just had her fingers just all chopped off. And there was no blood until she got outside and started shaking. But no blood. And I thought, that must be you can go to A&E and go, look, someone's just chopped all my fingers off. But where's the blood? Well, there's no blood. It's still staying in my body. Look at it. It's fantastic. The power of my mind. Well, there's not much to say about it. The acting was okay. Couldn't really see the monster didn't have a name. We found out who Matty was, obviously, a bit later on. The monster was okay. It was a bat. People would say it was a bit lame, but come on. I would say it's something similar to the creature out of Jeepers Creepers, if you've ever seen it, when it's like standing around and flapping its wings, that kind of thing. Not as detailed, but you can imagine what I'm talking if you've seen Jeepers Creepers. If you're not, then just think of a guy with some wings stuck to his back. Big bat things. Some scenes that the main actress in was okay, but she was just crap. The bit where she was screaming, I thought it was a whale or something in the background. What the hell? And it was her screaming. I thought, put some passion in it. But the other one, Georgia Conlon, my gosh, she just went for it. She should have been top billing. She was fantastic. Special effects were okay, like I say, especially with that one scene. Some of it was a bit, but I had an idea of what the ending was, but it turned out not to be anything like what the ending was. I thought, that's not what I was thinking. You know, you watch and think, I know what's going to happen. I know what it is, and it turned out not to be. Like I say, at the time I was like, I'm watching a film from the 80s with good style, because it was from the 80s, not made in the 80s, but from the 80s. But some parts were like, why? The famous, what's that? But nothing, you don't see anything. I'll actually give it a 4. That's purely because of the fact that they've actually switched the sisters around to have the main sister being the one that could scream and cry for what is it, an English film, for whatever country that she's from. Then yeah, I would have given it a higher rating. But Megan Purvis was just crap, I would say, in my mind. And you can see on the images where she's got the blood all over her face on the photos. If you actually look on that, the trailer's like, but on the IMDb you see some photos. But she doesn't clean that off. Most people would have wiped it with their hands or something like that, but no, she just walks around with it. So weird. So weird. Anyway, hopefully you've enjoyed watching and listening to this film review of Bats. Please subscribe to my channel. I've got plenty of the film reviews out there. Lots of horrors and lots of films, and some are really good ones as well. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Like I say, leave a comment in the comment box below. Have you watched this film? Did you have the same feelings I did? I don't know. Okay, well, thank you and goodbye.